we conducted 2 surveys, one in the first year of the EJP and the second one the last year, in order to know the needs of rare disease researchers. In the first year, it was intended to ERN researchers. So we look at the expressed needs, and we found out that many of the partners in the EJP RD are responding to these researchers' needs. So to the facilities to find patient registries, to find animal models. So we made this kind of presentation saying, do you have a need? There is an app for that, as in the iPhone, the first iPhone era. And we realized that the EJP has an app for everything that was pointed out in both surveys. So facilities to find patient registries, animal models, to find biobanks, biosamples, cell lines, software and tools, deposit, share or analyze data, and tools for access control and patient privacy preservation, and then standards for codification, standards for phenotypic annotations, on proteomics data, on tools for discoverability, to tools and methods and resources to make your data fair, and tools for managing access issues, and so on and so forth. So to getting support, conducting clinical trials or translational research, epidemiological or natural history study, or molecule screening. So all these resources are partners in the EJP RD. And following that surveys, we delivered in the first year, in September 2019, a deliverable that you can find here in the EJP RD website, in which we made a summary report on the state of the art of existing resources in Europe. And in this deliverable, you will find the mapping work that was done before the EJP starts, and then through surveys during the first months of the EJP RD. And in this deliverable, we represented the resources that were mapped, and some of them are in Europe, and some of these are in the EJP RD, and we represent them all as a mind map. So we thought that it could be a good idea to have a kind of mind map, and we prepared a very and you will compare with what has been developed by Serge's team. So we developed this very, let's say, drafted and very simple mind map of on resources based on needs that are partners in the EJP RD, and that are one by one connected in a sense with the future virtual platform. So that's how the idea came out to Franz Serge's minds, to make it visible in the EJP RD website. So I will let the floor to Franz to finalize this introduction before we will see how this idea materializes today.
Yes, so we thought we should have this kind of map of resources that are available to rare disease researchers in a visually appealing way and in an intuitive way. So we asked the people from CNAC, have a lot of experience with developing portals and tools to help us with this task, and now they have this portal in a very advanced stage already, and they would like to share with us and provide a discussion, provide a forum for discussion of the draft tool they have in hands to see whether it meets the needs of the rare community. So I don't know, Sergey, you're back. You just made it.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry for that.
Very, can you take over?
Yes. 1 second. I was expecting a call from the hospital the whole morning. I just came in now. So sorry for that.
It happens.
Yes. Just, okay, let me share my screen then. So I'm sorry I missed your introduction, Anna. I had seen the slides, so I can imagine what you said. And
yeah. You have the slides I sent you by mail, but you will discover them. But yeah, nothing you don't know.
Exactly. So we have discussed many times about this, so hopefully I'm not going to say something completely against what you said. Okay, it also turn on my camera so you can see me. Okay, so in the past a few weeks, we've been trying to implement this mind map from basically the schemes that have been working together with Anna, Franz, and others in the group, and then Alberto and Carlos mainly in my team, but also in collaboration with other colleagues from Orphanet and BioTools have been trying to work out how to implement this mind map in a way that is easy to use, and that hopefully it helps the potential users to find data and services, right? So this demo is going to be very short because that's the idea is that it's something very easy to use. So hopefully that's what we can show here today, and then there is not that much to show at least, but hopefully we can get back from you some ideas on how to improve this, and if there are things that you would like to see change, we can do that. So the system is not yet live, it's not released. We hope we can release it very soon, probably not as a completely final product, accessing everything through BioTools and Orphanet, as probably Anna already mentioned, but rather as a system that at least it can help us to identify these resources and tools. Also, as Anna probably mentioned, we are focusing now on those resources, tools, which are partnering in EJP RD and or which are recognized by IRDIRC, okay? And you will see that probably there are some missing that should be here, but we also need to look into this before we release the final mind map. Is there anyone that wants to make a question? Or? Okay, it seemed to me someone was trying to speak. Okay, good. So that's the mind map basically. So there are several nodes that group the different tools and resources that we have, and note that some of these resources or tools or documents or standards might be in more than one node if they are at the same time tackling several things. As Anna probably said, our aim is not to do a catalog of things, right? Our aim is to basically facilitate the identification of resources and tools or standards which are cataloged elsewhere. And to do this, mainly, we will leverage on the Orphanet catalog and on BioTools. Okay, but we also know that some of the resources, especially the ones recognized by IRDIRC, they are not yet available in BioTools or in Orphanet, and maybe it's difficult to include them there. So we need to find out a way how to tackle those. For now, basically, we have hard-coded them into the application so that we can show how this could look. But there is still some work to do on that sense. So the way that this will work is it's going to be in a domain of EJP RD, so it will just be a SAP page from the EJP RD website, and there will be radio buttons here, or there are radio buttons here that allow you to select what you want to see. For example, here I'm allowed to see now everything which is recognized by IRDIRC, and also everything which is funded or partnered in EJP. And as I said before, don't get hit up if you see your resource missing here, because we still have to go and do a comprehensive analysis of everything to make sure we're not missing anything. And maybe we will add others. That's something up for discussion. Maybe GA4GH standards, for example, could be one thing, or other stuff. This is something we have not discussed. The reason to focus on this, and I don't know if Anna mentioned this or not, is that we don't have the capacity to implement a selection system of our own. So we thought that the most objective way that we could do that was basically leverage on initiatives that have already done this selection or that are doing this selection in an ongoing basis, like ERDC, so that we don't need to say you yes, you no. We try to find an objective way of doing that. Okay, so now comes the demo. So basically, if we have both ERDC and EJP selected, you can go to the different nodes that have information, and once you click on one of the nodes, then you will see the different resources or tools that belong to this category. For example, in this case, this is patient registries and cohorts. We would have another one on biobanks. There is another one on animal models and cell lines with the 3 funded resources in Work Package 11. Another one we have here on archiving and sharing of experimental and phenotypic human data, also with the 3 main tools that are funded through EJP RD, or an ERDC recognized source like Phenome Central, or this other one, for example, which is on analyzing an experimental phenotypic and human phenotypic data. Okay, so basically genome phenome data analysis and other tools that we might find in BioTools. So for each of these tools, what we have is that when you hover over the tool, you have a description of that resource or that tool, and this, not yet is coming everything from BioTools or OrphaNet, but hopefully everything will be coming from this catalog, so that when the catalog at their end is updated, the information also that you will see in the tool will be updated in real time, because basically the information will be accessed on real time. And besides the information that you get on each of these services, because you can see that this is basically when you hover over the tool, there are also links to the homepage of these resources and the entry in BioTools, or in the future in OrphaNet, of these resources. So here as an example, if I click here on the home, it will open the RD Connect GPAP homepage, and if I click here on BioTools, it will open the entry of the GPAP in BioTools. The same if we go, for example, to Decipher, and here we'll get the link to Decipher, and here we will get the link to BioTools from Decipher. Okay, so these are just some examples. On the other side, we also have other kinds of resources. We have standards, semantic standards. So in some cases there are nodes and subnodes, not very common, but in a couple of cases we do have that. And here we basically have ERDC recognized resources, the nomenclature, the human phenotype ontology, the ICHPT, which I think Anna told me that probably this is now not an ongoing effort anymore, and will terminate to be on the list, OMIM, ORDO, and the nomenclature of rare disease. So there are several of these things, and as you can see, they are not linked in BioTools, right? We only have the access to their homepage, and there is no link to ERDC, because basically it's a list, a static list table that they have there. There is no an interface to interact with these things. We have guidelines also recognized by ERDC, and they are also for several reasons: data management, data sharing, diagnosis, research. And here basically documents or papers in which there are some of these guidelines published, and they have been accepted by ERDC as recognized guidelines or resources. We have some for diagnosis, for example, the guidelines for diagnostic of next generation sequencing or gene disease variant databases, or also for research. We also have tools for research. Some of them are for analysis or for storing variants. Some of these, we need to think if they should be considered in other sections. For example, already BioTools is considered here, and also on the left here on the experimental and phenotypic human data. This is some of the fine-tuning we still need to do. We have knowledge bases like OMIM, ORDO, or metabolites for experimental metabolic data or metabolomic data, and also tools and services for transnational and clinical research and development. Here we have many of those which are, or some of the ones which are recognized by ERDC, but probably there are some which might be part of, for example, pillar 4 in EJP RD, which are represented, and we might want to include here. So there's a bit of flexibility still to include things from EJP RD on that area. That's mostly it. If I would remove the ERDIRC resources, then a lot of this information on the right would be empty. You see that they are white circles, means that there is nothing, because all of these resources here were only the ERDIRC recognized. And in other cases, in other nodes, then for example, not here, but here, now we have lost the Phenome Central because it's not an EJP RD resource. It's only an ERDIRC recognized resource.